Got a daggone buzzard in the grill of this thing, boy. Gail Banks said this stuff is good for you, boy. Why do you hate the environment, Trevor?
Because the environment's a pain in the ass to work on.
What'd you say about the engineer earlier?
Whoever the mechanic was, decided to sleep with the engineer's wife, I had to kick him in the nuts.
Go! What are we doing?
Stupid ass little metal keepers off.
Off the manifold?
Something you ain't give for your second.
You got it pried back there?
One way or another. Something you ain't give.
Oh, yeah.
Bitch. I think we're ready to pull off. And head bolts. Accessories.
Well, while you're not bowed up, would you like to tell all, like, I think it's 546 subscribers I think we have, what exactly you have to do, or what you got going on, or what the problem is?
Long story short, in 6.5 hours, it consumed 11 gallons of coolant.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, so you sure this ain't a 6 liter and not a 6.7?
I mean, I've had my fair share of 6 liter problems, but
So
we're ready to eliminate this with, we're gonna try the exotic head studs out, see how they go, and put a new gasket in here.
Yeah, and then we got some, we're not 100% if it's head gasket or the EGR cooler that, as you see, isn't there. And so we have some EGR, let's call them EGR test plates.
Yes.
Test plates to see if
test
yeah
pressure.
Yeah, we're gonna test the pressure and test and see if maybe that's where we were losing coolant too. So we'll swap the gasket out and throw those in, and we'll see what happens. So as we said, we've replaced the head gasket on that rig there. Still got plenty of stuff going on with this shop ornament. And then AJ's truck, as you see, they made some progress the other night. They were working on swapping out the valve springs and push rods on this. They also pulled the bracket off down there for the heat exchanger on the transmission. So anyways, we'll see how far we get today. I don't know what all we're gonna be doing other than mainly focusing on Trevor's truck here. All right, so while Trevor is up here just wasting time and playing around, just taking forever and, you know, doing his thing, decided to go and take Nathan's harness and stripped it down. I'm gonna finish pulling all the rest of this tape and everything off of it, inspect it, clean it up, make sure everything looks good with it, and then gonna go ahead and re-lume it just because it looked like it was in kind of rough shape. So I'm gonna get that redone and ready to go back on, and then may work on going ahead and wiring up the air dog. So he decided to move the air dog. When I had it back in the rear of the truck near the back bumper. As you see, he made a mount for it, moved it up here in front of the gas tank. So we're gonna redo the harness for that, kind of clean it up a little bit, and get it ran to a distribution block that we'll have mounted under the door here. But anyways, that's to come. For now, I'm gonna give Trevor a hand to lift this head off and see if we can't get it cleaned up and get a new gasket slapped in it. All right, so we just finished up and got the head back on. As you can see, everything's set in. We're getting ready to put the studs back in, but the head is down on the dials. New gasket in and ready to start reassembly. We had to re-rig a couple times because, as you can tell, it's a really tight fit doing this with the radiator, fan and fan shroud and everything still in place, but it can be done. It's a little bit aggravating. So anyways, what do you think?
It's dumb.
What do you think? Should have pulled the radiator? Yeah, you pull everything out the front. Make it like that right there. It'd be a little bit easier. So what do you think about the exotics?
So far, I like the package.
You like a good package. Got this.
Especially when they put the longer studs by themselves. That's the ticket.
Got little caps on the end of them too. Check the threads. Good old exotic socket too. How nifty. How nifty you are.
I think that's enough assembly lube.
More lube than the ARP stuff comes with too, huh?
Yes.
Right on.
I ain't gonna say that ARP ain't better, but we sure gonna try for our everyday vehicle.
Yeah. She ain't gonna make a lot of power, but she can too. Test that 6-7 head gasket. See how they do. All right, so as you can see, this ain't really the best quality video. Sorry, my camera's acting up a little bit, but anyways, got this harness re-loomed and cleaned up, and I have pulled the fender off of Nathan's truck, and so also pulled the wiper cowl. And what I'm gonna do is pull all the wiring out that's up here and kind of go through and see what's needed, what's not, and see what we can do to kind of clean this up a little bit. Keep in mind, this isn't gonna be as big of a wire tuck, or I guess you'd say as in detail of a wire tuck as what's on my truck, but I am gonna try to clean it up a little bit for him, try to make it look a little more presentable, and we'll see how it turns out. All right, guys, so we are pretty much wrapping up for the day. Nathan and AJ just left, and actually tonight they were working on looking some things over on AJ's truck as far as mounting up the new shifter, because he's going manual valve body. Also putting in a auxiliary trans cooler and a few other odds and ends. They were just kind of eyeballing, getting a game plan on that. And as you saw earlier, we worked on Trevor's truck here, and with it we pulled the head off, checked everything over. The head looked pretty flat, so we went ahead and cleaned everything up, slapped a new gasket in it, and got it put back together. The head is back in, and the studs are set in it, but we haven't tightened anything or torqued anything yet. We're gonna continue on with that in the morning. But anyways, it was a little bit aggravating trying to get the head situated in there with the fan and fan shroud and everything still intact. It probably would have been easier looking back on it to pull that out of the way, but we figured we'd be able to fish it out pretty easy. And I don't know, fishing it out wasn't too bad, but getting it back in was a little bit aggravating. So I don't know, anyways, just a little food for thought. But then other than that, in my spare time in between working on other things, like while Trevor was cleaning up the head and the block and things like that, I worked on the C1 and C2 harness for Nathan's truck. I went ahead and pulled all the old loom off of them, got them cleaned up, checked them out, and went ahead and re-loomed them just with some braided loom, some Amazon special stuff. Wasn't too expensive. I had a bunch of people ask me before about what all I use for doing that stuff, and you know, you can find a lot of that stuff on Amazon. So anyways, that's what I use for that, and it didn't turn out too bad. As you can see here, that's the expandable loom and everything on it, and it didn't turn out too bad. There's a couple things I'm not really happy with, but it's gonna ride. One is like a couple places like this here where the loom kind of bunched up just because of the way I had it taped. That, and then I wasn't really happy with how this one came together. Looks kind of janky, but the rest of it turned out pretty good. I was happy with, and it'll look a whole lot better than it was. But But anyways, when it comes to that stuff, I'm definitely no expert. I don't claim to be, not as good as a lot of the guys in the game. But anyways, I can clean something up a little bit better in stock anyways. So, but anyways, like I said, I'm no expert when it comes to that stuff. Just kind of winging it and trying to make it look a little nicer than it did to begin with. Like I said, this can get a little wire tuck, nothing nowhere near as nice as what Brian did on my truck. This is just cleaning up a couple of the harnesses that are easy to get to and relocating the battery, getting it out of the engine bay. And also that truck went down to one battery because we're gonna have to have room for the compounds that are going on it. So anyways, like I said, that's just an update for how things went today. And tomorrow we will continue on with working on the wiring on Nathan's truck and Trevor's truck getting buttoned up so that he can get it back on the road before Rudy's. So anyways, thank you guys for watching as always, and we'll see y'all again next time. See y'all.